You're listening to the Wally Show podcast. You can hear the live version every weekday morning through the WayFM app or following along with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where Wally teaches and where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. This podcast is also brought to you by United Faith Mortgage. Let their direct lender advantage save you time and money.
Uplifting WayFM.
If you're not careful, you might just learn something today.
Hi there. Is there a project you're working on? I know more than you. All right.
It's the Wally Show.
While you may think TikTok is just another avenue for teenagers to post dumb dance videos, you actually can learn a thing or two. I know that I've learned a couple of things when I'm watching TikTok videos.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've learned that I will not get some of that time back in my life. That's a big one.
That's true. It definitely is a time sucker. But how people can be fooled into thinking you're the most attractive person in the room. That's one video that's getting some viral sensations on TikTok.
I could see that. Like for people that need that, like I could see them going, hey, how can I be attractive? You know, like the beautiful people, some of us, like it's not like a thing.
Right. Well, there's a holistic life coach. I'm not sure what that means, but
that's somebody who does not have a real job and they just spend time on TikTok.
Well, she's a holistic life coach,
Great.
And she posted a video claiming there are 5 psychology tricks to pull this off.
Okay,
so
I'd love to know. Because I'm getting older, and so if I can do some things to maintain my beauty, that would be great.
Okay, so the first one is she claims use your hands when you talk.
Oh, okay.
So it makes you seem confident and more engaging.
And more emotive. But you can't have like crazy arms. There's a balance. Like there definitely is a balance. You want to keep them a little bit constrained.
Okay. Her second was speak slowly, taking lots of pauses when you speak.
Absolutely not. Like those people drive me crazy. I want to finish their sentences and move forward. Like, let's do this.
She claims that when you talk slowly, it makes you seem more confident. And when you're rushing your words, you come across as insecure.
But again, balance. Because if you speak like you're from the deep south and you're talking pert near a half mile an hour. Yeah, see, that's like way too slow.
Fell asleep there.
Yeah.
And finally, walk around with wet hair. She didn't really have a reason behind this one. She just said that most people find that attractive.
The slick back look? Oh, no.
For men and women.
Oh, no. I think it looks like you didn't care. Like you didn't try today. Like you got out of the shower and just showed up. Or, yeah, you don't care about my time.
Well, she's a holistic life coach, and she knows more than you.
I stand corrected. She's on TikTok, so what do I know? Uplifting WayFM, this is The Wally Show. Now, you don't have to be a type A personality or a 8 on the Enneagram or whatever to be a leader. Sometimes you just have to find that moment of courage and step out and do that.
Why are you looking at me funny?
Oh, I'm not. No, I'm curious where you would land on this, okay? Like, there are people that show up as leaders every day in different scenarios.
Push their way into being a leader every day.
But then there are some people that are quiet and reserved and wouldn't normally take a leadership role, but they find that moment where they need to. Mm-hmm. That happened to me. I was at this light. I don't want to say where it is in case law enforcement is listening. And in case I inadvertently broke a law, I'm not sure if I did. So they've added a new light. It's kind of like on this curve turn where you're getting onto the freeway, and they've added a light there. It feels like a light, but it's also still kind of a right turn where you can make a right turn on red. Oh, yeah. And there's no sign that says no right turn on red. So
you should be good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And everyone stopped at this light, and I'm like, that's weird. And it's a long one. And so finally, I'm like, I see no legal problems with this whatsoever. So I took the lead. And I went and I ran through the light, and then it was like a floodgate. Everyone was like, "Wait, we can do this? Is this okay?" Whoosh, whoosh, and everyone behind me then followed suit.
And who knows? You may have kept someone on their appointment.
That's
you
right.
know, not running late because you took the lead and you said, "You know what? I won't let this red light tell me what to do.
That's right.
I will turn right if I want to turn right."
That's right. Unfortunately, there was like a 3-car accident behind me. But for a minute, it was glorious. I'm like, I don't think that that's illegal because there's no sign.
Yeah.
And so now I see people do it all the time. I started a trend.
Wow, you are a fearless leader.
There you go. See, that's
done.
leadership. That's my leadership training paying off. That's my master's, and so I just lived it out. It is. So I am curious for you, okay? What was a time, and again, you don't have to be a naturally born leader. What was a time, though, you took the lead, you stepped out, and maybe it was hard for you, because like Betty, she is more reserved and quiet and doesn't always find it easy to take a out front position.
Right. Like I will choose, I'll select. I want to make sure that when I stand up that it is the correct thing to do at the time, whereas you...
Anytime is the correct time, whether I know what I'm doing or not.
Wow.
All right, so 855-33-WAY-FM. We love having you on the show. That's the number. You can be part of the show at any moment. So what was a time that you had to take the lead? You stood out. Maybe you even surprised yourself and you, altered things for people. You became a leader. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. Lisa, I'm curious, have you ever stepped out and taken the lead on something?
Yes, I did. We have a large homeless community in our area, and everybody said, well, we need to do something, and we talked about it. I said, look, guys, we've talked about this for 3 months, so let's just do this. So I organized the little bags that we would take to them, and we finally got it going, and we got it set up. They're like, why didn't we do this sooner? I said, I don't know. Maybe because nobody wanted to jump in feet first and do it.
That's right. You needed a Lisa of action is what you needed, a new Lisa on life. And that's cool. You saw a need and you chose to meet a need. And beyond that, you got everybody else involved in that. And I'm telling you, too, when you do that kind of stuff, you probably help these other people experience something that maybe they would have missed out on or not known the joy of helping somebody.
Exactly. And some of them were very little old-refined ladies. And they said, I never thought I would do this. But now I look for people on the street corner I can help. I'm like, yes, that's what I love.
Love it. That's a little better than my helping people run a red light story. But we're both leaders and heroes.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So, Mark, what was your time that you stepped out and took the lead?
I had been on a jury. They had me as a lead, and the jury had looked at this gentleman. He was a wealthy gentleman, and the police were never able to give him a breathalyzer. They were basing a guilty verdict on just the attitude of the man, and, he really thought that he wasn't guilty. So within 20 minutes, I let the jury realize that they couldn't give him a guilty verdict because they didn't like the guy or his lifestyle. So we rendered a non-guilty, and the prosecutor was not happy with me.
You were like the guy Peter Fonda in 12 Angry Men, the story where he's the one holdout in a jury room and he convinces everybody else that the guy didn't do it. And they were not happy about having to spend longer in the jury room and things like that. But to stand against the tide and against the pressure to do what you think is right is really an important skill.
It really is, because he made some foolish comments to the police officers, and all due respect to them, and he was not guilty. I really didn't think he was, and people were, once they really thought about it, they said, okay, I can't judge this man on what I'm thinking about him. I really have to look at the facts, and then we rendered a non-guilty verdict.
That's the hardest part about being on a jury. I was called for jury selection one time, and I got into the box and everything, and then they asked me a question, and they're like, could you, find this man guilty of this crime or whatever? I'm like, I don't think so. I think it's kind of a dumb crime, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. And they're like, okay, you're excused.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting! WAY-FM, this here's the Wally Show, and this is where we do a little good news giddy up. It's 3 rapid-fire good news stories designed to make you feel better because the regular news is a bit of a bummer. We're going to start with me. Good news giddy up. I'll go. They said that smartphones actually boost your memory skills, because I know, for me, part of it is, I don't know anybody's phone numbers anymore because it's all just a number. So I've thought it was negative, but actually they're saying it's kind of a sort of external memory. It frees your brains up to think of other things and not the stuff like memorizing phone numbers and stuff like that. That's a real positive
I mean,
spin.
I could see that, but still, I don't think it's healthy to be on your phone 24/7.
Well, yeah, but if I had to call my daughter and like I didn't have my phone, I'd be hosed. I do not know her phone number.
Do you know her name?
I do know her name, but I don't know the phone number. She's number 2 on my list.
Because
Marty's number 1. Yeah, you're 3, so you're up there.
I mean, no.
Gavin, good news, Giddy up, go.
The site GasBuddy.com says the average price of gas, which has been horrendous for a while now, just fell below $4 for the first time since March. I filled up for, I think it was $3.84
and you were so happy.
Oh my goodness, changed my life.
You're like, thank you, world, and you're like, wait, I'm still paying $3.84. I was in Orlando, and there's this one gas station tucked in by this outlet mall where they know all these tourists are. $7.99.
No,
I'm not lying. I am
That's
not lying.
Wrong.
Yes, because they just were gouging people. Everybody else around them, $3.45, $3.69, whatever. $7.99, and it's been that way for months. They're just like totally ripping people off.
So wrong.
Yeah. Betty Rock, good news, Giddy up,
Okay,
go.
there is a TikTok video that's going viral. It's of a little boy, and he is freaking out over a Singer sewing machine. That's what he got for his birthday, and it's clearly what he wanted. He was so excited about it. The video went viral, and the dad posted a follow-up, getting emotional, saying that he loved the comments that they were getting.
Oh, that's good. They didn't get hate? That's really good.
Instead, strangers were like, that's so awesome that you're supporting your boy in his passions and what he wants to do. There's no telling where you could go from that, but it always matters to kids when they have the support of their parents.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, some of the best designers, are men, and because you don't think of that in that world, but they are, and if you love something, I always love when kids love something and, like, to see where it goes for them, like, and to invest in it for them, so that is a really cool story. And that's going to do it for your good news. Giddy up.
Coffee shops, poolside, back porch, picnic table at the park, at your kid's soccer practice. Just about anywhere can be your classroom when you decide to go back to school online at Colorado Christian University.
I know I got my degree online, and I actually did a homework at a campsite. I was sitting around a campfire writing a paper. That is where I did some of my work that weekend. So life doesn't have to stop just because you go back to school to better yourself. You can work towards this future and this goal that you want to accomplish, and it doesn't have to totally consume you or derail your normal life with friends, your family, or what have you.
And you can earn accredited degrees from Colorado Christian without ever setting foot on campus.
So there really shouldn't be an excuse to not going back to school. If it's something you really want to do, you can do it. And all you have to do is go to ccu.edu/Wally to learn more. And the other really important thing is that Colorado Christian is committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart. So check it out, ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's a little something to help set the tone for the day. It's The Wally Show.
If someone were to ask you, sorry, a lot of words, they're just mishmashed. If someone were to ask you, hey, what'd you do today? Most of us would probably not be able to come up with, I survived 6 brain surgeries. Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
That's what this doctor did. She was already studying to be a doctor, and then she found out she had these problems, and then ended up having 6 brain surgeries where she had to be a patient, and now she's working in the hospital that took care of her.
Wow.
Which, I think that's like super cool. Like she said, you learn so many things in medical school, but one of the things you don't learn is how to be a patient. You don't learn what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what their families are thinking. And we went through this for so many years, me and my mom, that navigating the medical system and seeing the other side was amazing for me. And it's like, good, she got a different perspective. She said, I'm very thankful for the experience, and now getting to share what I know, I can better help patients. And
that's true, because when she says to that patient, I know exactly how you feel, it has some weight to it.
Yeah, I think that's like that with life. I mean, we look at a lot of our bad experiences, but when we use them for helping other people, it gives them a little bit of purpose.
Yeah.
And you're right. When someone says, you don't know how I feel. Well, I do. I've had 6 brain surgeries.
Right.
Oh, I've only had 2. Gotcha. And she said the recoveries from each one was harder and harder and harder. But then the problem was after her 6th one, she suffered a stroke.
Oh,
so
gosh.
one extra
Oh, my
layer.
goodness.
Yeah, so she had to learn how to use everything all over again. And, she said, this is the interesting part, though. She says, of all the function I regained, the hardest one for me that's been my biggest limiting factor was my hands. She's a doctor. What do you use your hands?
Yeah.
And she said, though, it changed her trajectory, and so she had to find a new purpose. And this is what's impressive, though, because it's easy to wallow in what you don't have. And I've lost my career. She ended up being in a place where it refocused her to work with people after they have been through something traumatic like this and to help them overcome this. And because that's what she had to do. And she's like, it derailed me, but it put me on the path I knew I was meant to be on all along.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
She could write a book.
I know, right? This lady is the epitome of the glass is half full. She also got a little bonus out of it. She said, I wasn't expecting it, but I met my husband through this. He also had brain surgeries. And
What?
I know, right? And then they
Holy
met,
cow.
fell in love, and there you go. So sometimes the things that you think are the worst thing ever in your life, if you purposely look for some of the good in it, and you find the alternate path, it might lead you to something even better. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. And when you marry somebody, you don't just marry that spouse, you actually get the in-laws. What an added blessing.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard some parents say this to their kids before. Some of my friends, they're like, remember, you're not marrying him.
Yeah.
You're marrying the family.
It's very true. And
It is true.
My daughter had started dating this guy, and so I wanted to meet him. I want to meet the family and stuff. It's important because they can bring some drama.
That's right. And that's what exactly happened to this one couple. So they're leaving town to go take a vacation, a couple's vacation, but they hired his mom to stay at their house to take care of the dogs while they're gone.
That's great.
While they're gone, this mother takes it upon herself to repaint all the walls and hang pictures that maybe they didn't even want. She pretty much made that house into her own house. Now, maybe she did it out of a kind heart, thinking that maybe they had been talking about wanting to repaint.
Right.
And she thought, I'll just take it on myself and I'll do it.
Mama knows best.
But do you know the color that they want?
Doesn't matter. Mama knows best. The pictures, they probably had pictures just sitting up against a wall. She hung them.
But can you imagine this guy's wife when she walked through the door thinking, this is my house, and now your mom made it her own?
Wow, look how possessive you just got.
It's not possessive.
Wow.
If you paid the mortgage, it's yours.
Yeah. My
Stop
house,
it.
your mom.
Stop.
Wow.
Stop
Okay, I see it now. I get it. No, I agree. I think that is an overstep, honestly. I get wanting to do something nice for your kids. And if they had said, oh, we've already picked out the paint color. This is what we're going to do in this room or whatever.
That's different.
And she paid someone to come in and paint it.
That's different.
Then you go, man, that was awful nice.
Yes.
Thank you. That's a nice treat.
But if she painted it hot pink because she likes hot pink, now we got a problem.
It's fantastic. All right. I know this family's not the only one that have had in-law oversteps. It's just natural. I mean, some in-laws are super intrusive. There's a whole TV show on TLC called Smothered. Whoa, boy. It's about intrusive mother-in-laws. Oh, it's bad. And so I am curious. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. We love having you on with us. 855-33-WAY-FM. Oh, good. Phone's already lighting up. Have you ever experienced an in-law overstep?
So for you, Brenda, when was that time that a parent, an in-law, overstepped?
Girlfriend, it's every day. My mother-in-law lives with me. I work, so every day I come home. There have been times I've gone. She has rearranged my closet, my dresser drawers. I've repeatedly asked her to leave our laundry alone. I will take care of it. She will just take it upon herself to go into any other part of our house that, it's our personal space and rearrange everything.
That's hard. You got to have boundaries.
So have you had to sit down with her? Has she changed her ways?
Oh, no, ma'am. We have tried sitting down with her, and she goes into childlike mode and melts down, and that's a whole nother story.
Okay. Well, you might have to go another, if we're going childlike, put locks on the doors,
Yeah, exactly. Amen, for sure. Just pray for me. That's all I can ask.
So have you ever been in a situation where your in-laws maybe overstepped a bit?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, I love my in-laws. They mean the best and everything. But, my wife and I we had a situation in the house that we were living in. We had gave them just an extra spare backup key in case we go away or something. We need to watch them or get the mail or anything. But, so I was actually traveling for work one day. Actually several days, and they were actually, long story short, basically they were using the key and using our home as if it was their home, stopping and eating food and using the restroom and and stuff like that. And then they were actually sitting in the living room. They were hooking up the really old video game systems up to the TV that you just plug in and play video games and watch movies and things.
Oh, that is so great. I love it that they've treated your house like a vacation home.
Did they ask for permission?
No, they didn't even ask for permission or anything.
Okay, now here's the big thing. Did you tell your wife to handle it? Did you say you have to talk to your parents, or did you help?
So she kind of basically handled it and talked to them, and then I was there, but then it was,
I'd like to think that I'm going to be better than this, but I don't think I will be.
Really?
I think I'm going to be super involved in my daughter's life, till I die.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. I recognize that even just meeting her boyfriend, they're not even, serious. I met him, and I already was super involved. And so, yeah. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and if you have a prayer chain at church or you do prayer requests at your small group, you kind of understand that concept of praying for other people. And we wanted to take that out a little bit bigger and do our prayer wall, where you can post a prayer request on our prayer wall with whatever's on your mind. You can do it anonymously. And then we have teams of people that are praying that work with us here at the ministry. And then also other random people who are also on the prayer wall will pray for you, and then you get a notification when they've done so. So it's a really, really cool thing. And the prayer requests kind of run the gamut. And two really stuck out to me, both from moms, both for their sons today. My son's 19, needs the Lord's help, became estranged when I suggested that he go live with my mom because he's autistic, ADD, ODD, paranoid, and we never found the right help for him. And he was violent when he was 15, and I've lost the ability to connect with him. He says I only have to love him because I'm blood, but I really love him. I miss my son. I fear for my son. I want him to be happy.
Wow.
That's heavy. And then you've got another mom that's like, my son's an alcoholic. He's been to rehab twice. He got 2 DUIs. He lost custody of his kids. Please pray that he'll stay longer. And more than that, please pray that God will take his desire to drink away. It's heavy, man.
Yeah,
it's heavy stuff there.
And these 2 moms are hurting bad. And, they may want to reach out to the people that are close to them, but in a way it could be embarrassing for them. Sure. Maybe they are afraid that they'll be judged for something when in actuality they did nothing wrong, but they're just looking for someone to support them. And that's what's so great about the prayer wall. You can put your name, you can post your name on there, or you can do it anonymously. But these 2 moms are now, when they check their phone, they'll see a notification from the prayer wall saying, hey, somebody prayed for you. And who knows, that could just be the encouragement that they needed when they feel too weak to they don't even have the words to pray. Somebody else can intervene and pray on behalf of them.
So if you'd like to be part of that, or you'd like to post something, it's so easy. Just text the word pray, P-R-A-Y, to 91979, and we'll send you a link. Fine print drives me nuts. I'm always like, what are they trying to hide? Hey, it's Wally. And I was actually talking about this with Betty and Gavin on our podcast the other day. Have you ever read any of the fine print on anything?
No.
And they know that. That's why it's important to trust the people that you do business with. I closed on my refinance with United Faith Mortgage. Love those guys. And I read about nothing, but I trust them. That's exactly it. I trust them. And that's what's so important. This lady that they sent to the house is great. This is what this is. This is what this is. And you're like, all right, just let me sign. Let's do this.
Sign my life away. Oh,
Yeah, and
whoops,
so-
I just gave away my child.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, that's okay. Joke's on them. She's going to cost them a whole lot. So if you need a loan or you want to refinance your home, do yourself a favor and talk to United Faith Mortgage. They're faith-based and they do not play the fine print game. United Faith Mortgage. Start online, call anytime. UnitedFaithMortgage.com.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
It's today's Music Insider with Gavin.
TMI. TMI, my friends.
The Newsboys are a great band, and they've been out on tour for a while now. And on this current tour that they're on, they've been doing something really cool with at least one fan in all of their shows. So, in the concert, with the set list of all their songs, they'll perform the song Jesus Freak.
Because Michael Tate used to be in DC Talk, who did it. Like, not everybody knows that. It's crazy as that sounds to me. Not everybody's aware.
No, and the hook of that song is great. And there's also a rap sequence in that song.
And you know who did that, right?
Toby Mac.
Exactly.
I do know my Christian music DC Talk
Not everybody
staple.
does. Yeah, not everybody does, but I'm glad you do. Yeah, so Jesus Freak, you know the song. And everybody thinks that they can do the rap. Everybody thinks that they can pull this off.
Including you.
Oh, yeah. Like Mama made jelly. It took me a while. Yeah, see, everyone thinks we can do it, you know. But I love that they give somebody a chance to stand up and do it on stage, because it's easy to panic and not do it well.
No, but I think you have to have a certain gumbo to be up on stage.
Yeah.
Not everyone does have that.
Can I?
Yes.
I just want to say something here.
Yes.
Do you remember that time that there was Toby Mac was in town?
Yes.
And he asked you, because I believe Mandisa couldn't make it in, if you would do.
Mandisa asked me to do the Toby Mac part. Yes.
To do up in the morning to you, Disa.
You smooth me ice cold pizza.
And didn't you mess it up?
Well, some might say that, but no. They had me waiting in the wings to come out, but they didn't give me any in-ear monitors or anything like that. I couldn't hear anything. I had no idea. So then when I come running out,
Missed beat strikes again.
When I come running out, I'm not sure even where we are in the song, because the stage volume's completely different. And so she starts in on it so that I could know where we were. Once I got in, I killed it. We'll find the audio. I'm sure I killed it.
You didn't.
All right, so how did this guy do that they pulled off?
I think this guy did kill it, but he gets into it. And I think, like you said, confidence is key. And I think this guy was pretty confident.
Bring it. Yeah. What? Yeah, he did it. He got all the words right. He was
good.
On pace. That could have been Toby from back in the day. He killed it.
I wonder how you would have done.
Oh, I would have done it. I do get nervous. No, I do get nervous, but that's when I know so well. There was a man with a tat on his big fat belly. I could do that one.
No, I don't
Next
think so.
time Toby's here, we'll do it together, and I'll prove it to you. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and a lot of time inside of Christian circles, we'll talk about, hearing the voice of God, and that freaks some people out because I've never heard it audibly. Okay, full disclosure. But I do think that God does speak to us, and there's things that just kind of come to us that you're like, oh wow, is that God? And that's exactly what Ashley's asking. She's like, hey, lately I've been struggling with determining what's God's voice guiding me and what's my own voice inside telling me what to do. I get that. That can be a challenging struggle. And she's like, I'd love to get some perspective on this from other people to know, how do I know when it's God's voice talking to me? And I think that is really smart. As well, too, because then you find out more about God in your life and who he is, and you find out his characteristics, and it separates it more from you and from him, and so you know when it's him.
Right, and it, like you said, it is good to know those things, because if you've got a serious decision that you need to make, and you're praying on that topic, how do you know when it's just your head telling you this is what you should do, or if it's God telling you, nope, this is where I've opened a door?
So here's the deal. I'd love to get your perspective to help out Ashley. I had sent her something for mine, and I'll hold on to mine for a minute because I'd really like to hear yours first. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. How have you figured out in your life, and how do you know when something is God kind of telling you what you should be doing in this instance? 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. So have you kind of ever thought through this and figured it out for yourself, Pam?
Yes, years ago I had to make a decision, and I had let it go to God, and I prayed about it. And when my heart and my mind were not debating, I knew it was the right decision. And I've done that for probably about 20 years now. And God's directed me. And you always have to remember that, God's in the driver's seat. And I had a chaplain tell me that God speaks to all of us different ways. He spoke to Moses through, the burning bush. He speaks to the donkey, to the tree, to someone who's a pastor, to someone who, is just getting into Christianity. Speaks to them all differently.
I really like that outlook, Pam, because that's something that I've never thought about before. But I think what's interesting, if God needed to use a donkey to get through to you, does that say something about you? That's definitely what he would have to do with Wally. He'd have to kick him in the head.
I never thought of it that way, but that's clever. That's awesome.
Well, we're learning lots of things today. Hey, Pam, thanks for helping us out, and I'm sure Ashley appreciates the perspective.
Oh, I hope so. And God bless you guys.
How have you figured this out?
Well, I am so thankful I had a mentor years ago who taught me that you kind of have three voices in your head. You have yourself, and you kind of know what you sound like. You have God, and then we have an enemy. And so anytime that we have a thought, then we can run it through. Does that sound like me? Or does it sound like God? And we know when it sounds like God because it will always line up with his word, always.
Shannon, I love your point on this because I've actually heard Wally say something similar in the past. He's always said, I know that if in my mind I hear something that tells me, hey, you should do this because it's a good thing, I know it's not me because I always want to do the wrong thing.
Right. Well, no, seriously, like on a serious note, like if it's completely unselfish, because I can be selfish, I know that that's God. Or if it costs me something because I don't like to give up things, or if it's something that I just don't think I could have ever come up with on my own, that's my way of knowing that it's God telling me what to do.
For sure.
How would you answer that?
I feel like God has been on a journey just teaching me that God is in us and Jesus is the voice inside of us. And so in a lot of ways, he's taught me to have confidence in what I'm telling myself when I am in proximity to him. So if I'm staying in his word and I'm in his scripture, like his word promises to renew my thoughts and my mind. So I have to hold on to that. I have to hold on to those promises that that's how God speaks to me a lot of times is through my own voice, and that I can have confidence in that. If I'm with him and filling myself with his words, then that should be what's coming out.
Yeah, because like if you are spending time and you are constantly seeking his kingdom first, and it changes what we pray for and how we pray, then it makes sense that when things pop into your head, you're going to be more aligned with God's will and faith. You're going to probably pray less for lottery numbers and more for people.
Yeah, and I feel like it helps you realize, what's not from him as well once you're staying close to him.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. Sometimes knowing what's not from God is just as important as knowing what is from him.
Yep, it's refining either way.
These are the least important stories out of Hollywood, but nonetheless entertaining. Here's Betty Rock with the least of these.
I have yet to hear of anyone who has a problem with home renovating TV star couple Chip and Joanna Gaines.
No, they started that revolution with nice people on TV, like doing something together. That was because all the reality shows they need drama. Their worst drama is, well, I gotta call the homeowner. We need a beam. That always is like, how did you not know that? You're a contractor. You should know that needed a beam.
But for some reason, they didn't need the drama. It was something about like Chip's character, his
demeanor on air, and he's funny.
They have their whole family.
Yeah, it was just really cute. But it turns out not everyone agrees. There are a few haters out there, and mainly in the hometown of Waco, Texas, of all places.
I've been to Waco. I've been to their factory, Magnolia, place, and loved every minute of it. It was great. I bought a hat. I bought work pencils. Those flat carpenter pencils?
Oh, yeah.
I got a bunch of those. Like, I feel like I'm Chip Gaines when I'm making something.
Well, you're part of the problem. So when the couple's HGTV show Fixer Upper debuted back in 2013, it quickly became a network favorite for many viewers. And with the money they made from their show, Chip and Joanna were able to grow their Magnolia home decor empire in Waco.
They really have.
But it quickly became a big tourist attraction. And some of the tourists, when they came to visit, they were like, hey, why don't we just stay?
Let's buy a house.
Well, because of that, property values in Waco are going up, which ultimately leads to higher property taxes. And if you haven't been to Waco, then you may not know that most of the locals can't afford to live there anymore because the average household income in Waco is around $40,000.
Is it really? Wow, that's crazy because that's one thing that I always liked about the show is they would do these flips. And the house would be beautiful, and there'd be like, yeah, and it's now worth $400,000. Whereas, like, if you watch the shows, like with that Tarek guy in California, and they're working on $1 million homes that shouldn't be $1 million homes. So that's the appeal of Waco. If you could get a better, nicer house for less money, but it does. That's the byproduct is it raises all the values.
Well, it also aren't the houses that they work on, Chip and Joanna. Aren't they all in Waco, or are they?
They're in Waco and surrounding. Like, it's not like they're working hours outside.
So if there are people that are huge fans and want one of those houses that they've seen on the show, could they possibly buy it?
Theoretically, if it came back up for sale, yeah. I mean, I would buy one of those.
So then that is making, but that is making the price of homes, the price of everything just go up for the locals.
And probably, too, if it's a Chip and Joanna Gaines home, you're going to sell a premium on it. You're going to charge a premium for it. It's going to be worth more than another home in the same market. So, I mean, yeah, there's a cost to everything. But you still can't be mad at them.
Well, they didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, and they're raising your property value. So the good news is your value goes up, you just have to pay more in taxes. So, and that's the government. Don't be mad at Chip and Joanna. Be mad at the government. Let's get our anger in the right place here. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. When we're not sure about something, kind of a life dilemma, we turn to you and we let 5 people determine what the course of action is. Now, this is a 5 calls it that I'm not fully aware of. This is Gavin's life, and he will explain because I don't even know the whole story. So go ahead.
Okay, so, this last weekend I met 2 new people that were new to the church. It was a couple that had moved from across the country, and I spent about 15 minutes talking to these new people, which is something I don't normally do too often. Really, really, really enjoyed the conversation that I had with the guy.
Okay, you're coming off a little desperate right now.
I know. But we talked about...
I want to be your best friend!
We talked about, like, soccer and all these things that both of us shared an interest in.
Okay.
We're, like, the same age.
Okay.
So, my brain's going, oh, cool. Potential new friend.
You're like a puppy.
Yes.
Potential new friend.
I do agree. But this from my experience. I have some friends in my life that have a hard time responding to me.
Okay.
So I do sound desperate.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's wrong with me?
Okay, so what's the dilemma?
So they put a card in the basket at the end with contact information.
Did you steal it?
No, I personally did not take the card.
Okay, because that'd be super creepy.
And I didn't ask them for any contact info because, again, I don't think you do that right off the bat.
Put your numbers in here. We can share.
But I am part of a church's, outreach team who does a lot of work with trying to contact new people and trying to acclimate them to a new church.
So you have an official capacity.
Yes.
Okay. And so then you can reach out to them officially. As a member of the church.
And it would be through, I would choose to go through email because that does feel more official. Maybe I do text though, but the one thing I'm
often
just like they have 10 text bombardment from me.
Here's some pics. Hey, just having fun on my grilling out on my deck.
Here's my address if you want to come over.
Oh,
but
man.
I think the thing that I'm struggling with is when do I reach out to them? Is 1 week too soon?
Has the church asked you to reach out to them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that didn't sound... That sounded sketch.
I was given the information. It wasn't... They don't...
Here's the thing, too. You can reach out as the church. You know, that's a good thing.
Yes.
But then if you kind of sneak in there we should grab coffee or something, then it's a little...
Yeah. How do I do this?
Although Betty can't do this because Betty stalked her friend and got Nicole as her new best friend
and how
roommate.
It turned out.
Yeah, and you blurred some lines. All right, so 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll hold off on the judgment. We'll just work on the timeline. So Gavin has this information that he theoretically is officially allowed to reach out to these people. When is too soon? Now, you met him just this past Sunday?
Yes, just...
Okay,
yeah.
so not too long ago.
No, not
so
at all.
5 days or whatever. So whatever that is. But so when should he actually reach out? 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. You can help him decide this, and you might be really helping this family out, actually.
I'm not a creeper.
No, sure not. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll do 5 calls. Calls it now. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Tara, thank you so much for joining us, helping Gavin out here with 5 calls. Calls it. He serves as the greeter at church, and he's on like the outreach team. Met this new couple, and he really liked them and thought they were really cool. He has their information through the church, and he's wondering when he should reach out. You know, because this is official, but slightly off the books as well, it feels like.
I think a week would be fine, and I don't have a problem with him including, hey, I enjoyed our conversation at church the other day. If you ever just want to get a cup of coffee and...
Be my best friend.
See, that's the end goal right there.
I am like Gavin. I am the friendly dog at the door, but also I'm very private, so I would have problems reaching out. But I appreciate, as a person who's recently moved, to have someone say, let's have a cup of coffee and let me tell you about my city.
All right, well, there you go. Tara, that definitely helps out. Thank you. Angela, 5 calls it. When should Gavin reach out officially to this new couple at church?
Officially, you reach out 2 to 3 days, which is 48 to 72 hours afterwards.
How do you know this? Like, you seem pretty confident in that.
I'm a social worker outreach.
Oh, really? Okay, so then you professionally have to call people back after you've, they've circled into your world there.
Yes, and usually they want it within 2 to 3 days.
Okay, well, now you're late, Gavin. You need to get on this.
Okay,
they might have already found best friends.
Oh, no,
so you could be out.
As far as your friend, just let it naturally flow. It'll happen.
Well, Angela, that's great advice that I'm sure he didn't hear. But thank you. All right, Gwen, you're up. 5 calls it. When should Gavin reach out to the new couple at church?
I think you should reach out as soon as possible.
It's tough because sometimes churches you go and you're visiting and then you're like, oh, I gave my information now. I don't want to be really bombarded. And so you've got to be a little careful, you know?
Yeah, but he's already met the person. I mean, if he gets the vibe that the other guy was kind of wanting to be friends too, then he's got kind of a foot in the door, so to speak. So it could be filling a need they have as well.
That's true. We're thinking of it very one-sided, that maybe Gavin is the answer to a prayer.
Yeah, they're new to the town. Yeah. Maybe I'm the bright spot of their new home.
Like, That's right. And God does that a lot in our life, too, where he answers two prayers. Like, you need friends, but maybe they do, too.
Boy, that sounded sad, didn't it? You're like, you need friends.
I didn't think this through.
I think we're going to end on that, Gwen. That is perfect. It could not have been better said.
We've never claimed he was the brightest bulb.
At no point were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
It's the Wally Show with Smarter Than a Jock.
All right, good luck to you. You're going to have to get past my brain today, and it is firing on 3 cylinders.
It is firing on no cylinders.
All 2 of them. So I'm going to take you on right now, and we'll see. Now, these aren't like crazy hard questions. It's nothing that Betty Rock took in her degrees at Colorado Christian University, but she is going to be our proctor here. She's going to ask questions of you and myself, and whoever gets in first, rings in first, name is your buzzer, and then gets it right. You get more questions right than the other person, you win.
Now, here's what's going to happen. I have 3 questions, and they pertain to boy bands.
Okay.
Geography.
Oh, wow.
And survival skills.
Okay, survival skills I should be in on. Geography, a little weak. Sadly, boy band's going to crush it. So, again, this is brought to you by Colorado Christian University, where Betty Rock is an alumni. Did you take any classes that had anything to do with geography or boy bands?
Sadly, no.
Yeah.
Huh.
You might want to have done better. All right, so if you want to take me on, be ready, because I am bringing my A game, my A+ game, actually.
Well, I'd say C-.
You know what? It's a passing grade. 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855 855-859-33-WAY-FM. If you want to take me on, you've heard the categories. That gives you an advantage there to know if you can do this or not. So I'm ready, willing, and able right now. And I won't show any mercy. That's the thing. No mercy.
Because you won't have to.
I will. I'm telling you, I'm going to win this thing, and no mercy will be shown. I don't care if you are of the female persuasion. I'm gonna treat you like an equal because I think that's what we should do.
Well, just give the number.
I'm not going to give it to you easy.
Just give the number.
855-33-WAY-FM. Here we go. Lines of victims ringing right now. 855-33-WAY-FM for Smarter Than a Jock, brought to you by Colorado Christian University.
We've never claimed he was the sharpest tool in the shed.
I am the smartest man alive!
Or the most absorbent sponge in the sink. It's The Wally Show with Smarter Than a Jock.
Uplifting WAY-FM. This is The Wally Show. Trisha, are you ready for Smarter Than a Jock, brought to you by Colorado Christian University?
Bring it on.
Okay, I like your spirit. I love crushing confident people.
So, Trisha, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to give you 3 questions. Your goal is to get 2 of those right. Then Wally can't beat you, okay? And we're going to start off with boy bands. Do you know anything about boy bands?
No.
Not a good start, Trisha. Gonna be honest with you. Now, your name is gonna be your buzzer, so if you think you know the answer, chime in, okay?
What boy band from the early 2000s had a member with the last name Richardson?
Wally.
What?
Wally, it's the Backstreet Boys. It was the guy with the squirrely little mustache.
What was his name?
Kevin Richardson.
That is correct.
Yeah!
Do you really want to celebrate?
No, I don't, actually. Yeah, that might be the end of my Backstreet Boys knowledge.
All right, here we go. Which ocean is the largest?
Oh. I think we both need choices.
Is it A, Pacific, B, Indian, or C, Atlantic?
Wally.
What?
I think I know. I think it's a trick question. I think I should be saying Indian, but I want to say it's the Pacific. I know it's not the Atlantic.
You're willing to take that leap?
I am. I have to.
That is correct.
Yeah!
Okay, wait a minute. This last question is double the points. And if she gets this right, then she wins.
That's not even that you would only tie.
It is. Here we go. If you find yourself the target of a hungry shark, where does the website WikiHow tell you to punch the shark in an attempt to escape?
Wally.
What?
Right smack in the nose. They say some people say to gouge its eyes out, but they said that's not a good idea because it actually has these scales that go over its eyes. Punch it in the schnoz.
That is incorrect.
What?
Okay. So here we go. You have 2 multiple choices.
Now I
First,
think I know.
In the eyes and gills.
Yep.
Or C, don't punch, but instead keep still.
The gills.
The gills. I think she's
right. That is correct, and you win!
I think she's right. As I was saying it, I remember they say, like, if you punch for the nose, what's right below the nose?
The mouth.
Right, and most times your hand goes in the mouth. And so, all right, Trisha, you know what? I'm feeling generous today, as are the people at Colorado Christian University, so you're going to win a prize.
Awesome.
Well, the podcast is over, but there's still the aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes, as well as connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online and United Faith Mortgage for supporting what we do.